They whispered it once. And the darkness fled, the name, Jesus, a word spoken for over 2,000 years. Yet few truly understand what happens when it's invoked, but what really happens when you call upon the name of Jesus? Is it just faith? Or something far greater, something that bends reality itself? Imagine this, a man alone in a hospital room, heart monitor fading into silence. His last breath trembles. And through cracked lips, he says one word, Jesus. The sound is barely audible. Yet in that instant, something shifts, the air grows still, the weight of despair lifts. And his pulse returns. Throughout centuries, the name of Jesus has echoed through battlefields, prisons, and broken homes. It was whispered by mothers as bombs fell, shouted by soldiers as they charged into death, and murmured by dying saints who saw light before their final breath. To speak that name is not merely to call upon a memory, it's to awaken something eternal. But how can a single word hold such power? To understand this, we must go back to a time before languages divided men, before kingdoms rose and fell. To the very beginning. In Hebrew, the name is Yeshua. It means the Lord saves. But it's more than salvation, it carries the weight of divine authority. When uttered, it's not just a name. It's a declaration. God himself steps into this moment. Few know that in ancient times, the name of God was considered too sacred to pronounce. Only the high priest could whisper it once a year in the temple's holiest place. Yet centuries later, a carpenter from Nazareth walked among men and said, "If you ask the Father for anything in my name, he will give it to you." It was a direct transfer of divine permission. The unthinkable became possible. The name that could once only be spoken by one man could now be spoken by anyone who believed, and history tells us of moments when that name defied the impossible. A woman in 1917, trapped under rubble after an explosion, called Jesus. And rescuers found her the only one alive. In war zones, missionaries claimed to see bullets curve away after praying in that name, and in quiet rooms across the world, unseen battles end the moment someone whispers it in faith. But here's what most people miss: the true power of the name is not in sound, but in alignment. When you speak it, heaven recognizes a signal. The spiritual realm trembles, not because of your voice, but because that name still carries the same authority that raised the dead. Think of it, when fear surrounds you, when every door closes, and you feel forgotten, what if one word could pierce through everything unseen? What if the name of Jesus wasn't just to pray with, but to command darkness itself to flee? Because in the next moments, you'll see that invoking his name doesn't just change your circumstances, it can change you, it can rewrite your reality. But to understand how, we must uncover what happens inside the spirit realm when that name is spoken. They say the spiritual world is invisible, but what if the name of Jesus is the one sound that tears the veil between both worlds? Because when that name is spoken, something responds. In the unseen, a light cuts through darkness. Chains that were invisible begin to crack. Entities that once whispered in fear take a single step back. Every syllable echoes with authority older than creation itself. You may not see it, but the moment you speak his name, every shadow recognizes it. In ancient texts, the name Yeshua was described as the seal of heaven, a divine mark that no darkness could imitate. Demons trembled at it not because of sound, but because they remembered the one who carried it. When the disciples said, "In the name of Jesus, stand up and walk," they weren't using a charm or a spell, they were invoking the very identity of God manifest in man. That's why the world has tried to erase that name again and again. Empires have burned scriptures, dictators banned prayer, even algorithms try to silence it, because the enemy of light knows that name doesn't just represent authority. It is authority. But here's what almost no one tells you: the name doesn't work because you say it, it works because of who stands behind it. It's not the human voice that commands power, it's the presence that answers it. When a person invokes the name of Jesus in faith, something aligns, heaven and earth, spirit and flesh, and for a moment, the boundaries collapse. That's why miracles don't define nature. They reveal its true order. Imagine a darkened room, someone crying out, "Jesus, help me." In the physical, silence. But in the unseen, angels move, chains snap. The demonic flees, because every time that name is spoken, it carries the memory of a cross, and the echo of an empty tomb. Have you ever wondered why people cry when they say his name, why the atmosphere changes? It's because something in your spirit remembers. You were created with his name written inside your very design, and when you speak it, your soul recognizes its origin. Invoking the name of Jesus is not about religion. It's not about belonging to a group, or reciting the right words. It's about authority. About acknowledging that there's one name above every fear, every sickness, every shadow, because every time you say Jesus, you are declaring that darkness no longer has the final word. So the next time you whisper his name, remember this: it's not just sound, it's the word the same one that spoke the universe into being, and if that word still lives, then what might happen the next time you say it?